This is Tiger. So we're gonna need a yoga strap. So in case you didn't hear, a strap, a belt, a robe belt, if you have a bathrobe is excellent. Other than that, we're gonna start, you'll have it off to the side, and then we're gonna start lying down on the mat lengthwise, obviously. And your feet can be flat on the mat. What, do you need something? Do you need a belt? Yeah. Okay. Oh, here you go. Check here. It's in here somewhere. All right. Sorry guys, we have people taking Pilates in the apartment. Okay, so lying down on your back, your knees can be bent. The strap is nearby within reaching distance. If you prefer to extend your legs, you can, but we're just gonna come into our body, come into the space, give yourself a little scan from head to toe, making sure that you're not holding on to any tension, especially in the face. I tend to clench my jaw, ruffle the eyebrows, and just try to relax all of that. Good, your hands can be wherever feels comfortable for you. And just start taking some deep breaths, whatever that means. And I always like to use my exhales, just kind of sink a little bit heavier, maybe go a little bit longer. Thank you guys for joining me. And again, this is your open level Pilates class. If anything doesn't feel good, you know, maybe back off, or I'll try to offer modifications. And then as you keep breathing, I just want you to start to transition into an inhale through the nose if you can, and then you're gonna exhale out through the mouth. Happy Earth Day, everyone. So as you find this inhale through the nose, exhale out through the mouth. You guys are totally muted right now. No one's looking at you. So feel free to make this nice and dramatic as far as the exhale goes. Exhaling, trying to blow air all the way up to the ceiling, all the way up to your upstairs neighbor. And then inhaling towards your yoga mat, trying to breathe into the back of your body, into the side ribs. Exhaling like you're trying to blow air through a straw, blow out candles on a really big cake. Whatever helps you connect to that deep exhale, and feel the abdominals start to pull inwards with every breath out. And then inhale, try to expand the rib cage from side to side. If you want to bring your hands around your rib cage for some tactile feedback, you can do that kind of like you're holding a baby. So thumbs go behind the ribs, 4 fingers in front if you're taking that variation. Imagining your torso is like an accordion. Inhaling as it expands, exhaling as you push the air out. Give me 4 more. And 3. Last 2. And the last one here. And then I want you to bring your hands onto your pubic bone. You might be familiar with this. Your thumbs will touch and your pointer fingers will touch like a little diamond shaped on top of pubic bone. And then I want you to find the thumbs and the pointer finger in the same plane. So oftentimes that means you might have to stick your butt out and down a little bit. And then continue with that inhale through the nose here. As you exhale, I want you to feel the belly start to pull away from those thumbs. And then inhale, let the belly rise. So now just breathing into the low abdominals, into the pelvic floor maybe. And if you haven't already, start to let these turn into some tiny little pelvic tucks, pelvic rocks, finding your posterior tilt on the exhale, imprinting the low back towards the floor. On the inhale, you're gonna rock that tailbone back to that starting position where the fingers and the thumbs are in the same plane. As you exhale, the pointer fingers tilt up higher than the thumbs. As you inhale, everything's nice and even. So A visual I often say during this one is like you have a bowl of water where your hands are, and every exhale you're trying to spill that water towards your belly, towards your chest. On the inhale, you're trying to spill the water slightly in between your thighs. Since it's Earth Day, I was gonna do like very earthy visuals. So strike one as far as that one goes. I guess water is very earthy, you know. Give me 4 more, stay tuned. And 3, connecting that breath to the low abdominals. Try to keep the quads and the thighs soft. Last 2. And then the last one. And then I want you to find your neutral spine once again. So maybe in between those 2 extremes, ideally the thumbs and the fingertips are nice and flat. And then bring your hands down next to your hips, flat on the mat. I want you to take a breath in here. As you exhale, just float your right leg into tabletop. And then inhale, control it back down. And then exhale, float the left leg. And then inhale it back down. So some little slow motion marches. This won't feel like a whole lot. We're just starting to warm up the hips, warm up the abdominals, and feel that breath pattern connecting us to that muscle activation. So as you exhale, the obliques, the low abs, pulling that leg up, and then inhaling to control it back down. And if you want to spice up your life right away, we will start to go into toe taps. So if you'd like to start to pick up the pace a little bit, going for a more very active switch in the air. If you're feeling a little more sleepy this morning, you can just have that slow march for a few more breaths. Those arms trying to support you down on the mat. However, if you want a different variation, some people like to reach them up to the ceiling. It's a little less supportive, so your abs have to initiate a bit more. Let's go for 3 more. Last 2. I love it. And then next time your left leg is in tabletop, bring the right leg up to meet it, both legs in tabletop. From here, I want you to zip those legs together. Find the inner thighs squeezing in. And then inhale, float both legs down a few inches, maintaining the 90-degree bend in the knees. Exhale, pull the knees right back over the hips. So your double toe tap. I don't like to say toe tap just because I find that when you actually tap the literal toes, that definitely goes into the low back. So think of it more of like a hinge of the femurs. Exhale, you pull back up. Give me 6 more. And 5. So good. Last 4. 3. 2. And then next time they're in tabletop, just pause there for me. And then take a breath in. As you exhale, I want you to find that same pelvic tuck. So imprinting the low back on the exhale, inhale, release. So this might feel a little bit, quite a bit more challenging than when your feet are flat on the mat, because you really have to tap into those low abs. So as you exhale, feel like your knees are kind of sliding up towards the ceiling as that sacrum tries to, or as that low back tries to pull down towards the mat. Let's go for 8 little pelvic tucks. Low abs should be quite sensational, quite spicy. I stopped counting. Give me 4 more. And 3. I just talked too much. 2. And 1. Hug your knees into your chest just to stretch out the low back for a second. You could go for some rocks from side to side, whatever feels good. And then when you're ready, find those legs once again in that tabletop position, and then reach your arms back behind you overhead so that your fingernails are on the floor. Take a breath in here. As you exhale, arms are going to lengthen up to the ceiling. You're going to nod your chin to your chest and curl forward, pressing the arms down next to your hips, coming to a little hover. Inhale, arms float up, head goes down, arms go overhead. Exhale, you curl forward, pressing the air down. Inhale, nice and controlled back. So if you've been in a reformer class, this might feel familiar, like you're laying down supine on the carriage with your arms and straps. And since we don't have all that resistance, since we're just kind of using our own body and our resistance here, try to really feel like you're moving really slowly through, I don't know, water, peanut butter, whatever your thick liquid of choice is. Give me 4 more. Maybe Jello. Jello's nice. And 3. Oh wait, Earth Day. Okay, mud, swamp. Ignore me. Last 2. And then next time you curl forward, arms are pressed down by your hips, just hold there. From here, I want you to reach through the fingertips, and I want you to just come up 1 more inch through the chest. Inhale, back 1 inch. Exhale, up 1 inch. Inhale, back 1 inch. Go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Stay curled forward at that highest inch curl. I want you to start to pump your arms for our 100. You're gonna inhale as you pump for 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. And this is about the abs. It's also mostly about the breath. So really make sure you're connecting to that breathing pattern. If you want to go a little harder, if you want this to be more challenging on the lower abdominals, you can send those legs to a 45-degree angle. Let's go for 3 more sets. Can you curl up any higher? Last set. Hug those knees into your chest, rock from side to side. Lovely, abs are warm, breath is engaged. Bring your feet flat on the mat. And then hug them pretty close into your bum so that we can start to make our way into some bridges. So arms start down by your hips, definitely. Feet inner hip distance apart. Take a breath in. As you exhale, find that posterior tilt that I've been really hammering home this morning. And then start to roll your hips up, bone by bone, until they come up to that high shoulder bridge, that pelvic press. Breath in at the top. Exhale, reverse it. Soften through the sternum as you roll back down. So kind of use this as your spinal massage moment. Also trying to feel the backs of the legs, the hamstrings, the glutes, really starting to turn on. Ooh, that was my knee. And then again, those arms up option to the ceiling is just a little less support for your body. So you really have to focus on those abs, on the hamstrings and the glutes. If you prefer more of a passive shoulder opener, I like to rest the backs of my palms on the floor. And then next time your hips are in your bridge, let's just hold that hip lift. So make sure that the low back isn't crunching at all. If it does give you any grief, just maybe let the low back sink down a little bit more and tilt the pubic bone up higher. And then I want you guys to think about pulling your knees over the toes and pulling the heels towards the bum. So really a lot of activation in the legs. And then from here, I want you to start to inhale as you hinge your hips, untuck your tailbone. If your butt's gonna go halfway down, like you're trying to stick your booty out towards a chair that you're about to sit into. And then exhale, you're gonna press your hips back up because the chair is on fire. Inhale, lower down, exhale, back up. Chair's on fire because the world's on fire. That's my Earth Day reference here. Very bleak. Try to turn this around for a positive note. Give me 5 more. I'm just cracking myself up over here. And 4. Keep hugging the heels in towards your bum. Last 3. Last 2. And then next time the hips are lifted, just pause, squeeze your hips together, and then you're gonna find a little pelvic pulse up for 10, 9, hips just lifting up an inch higher, for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, roll all the way down. Second round of bridging, you're gonna open your feet, externally rotate so that your legs are in a wide V position. My toes are kind of like on the outside of my mat. And then you're gonna take a breath in. As you exhale, tuck your tailbone, roll your hips all the way up and hold. So it's like you are in almost like a birthing position, for lack of a better reference here. And then drag the heels towards your bum again, lift your pubic bone up higher. And then you're gonna start to lift one heel up at a time. So you're gonna lift your right heel, keeping the hips nice and still, lower the right heel, lift the left heel, lower the left heel. So I kind of need to crawl my feet in a little bit closer to make this feel Better. And then maybe those hands can come to the hips to make sure they're not dancing from left to right. Again, those arms can shoot up for a little extra challenge. And then can you bring a little bit of like a concave chest moment, like a little softness to the sternum, just to make sure that you're not popping the chest open, keeping the abs engaged, squeezing in. My butt's already sore this morning, so I'm already feeling the sore right away. I hope you are too. Try to be really heavy through the big toe of each foot. All right, let's start to lift both heels up. So both heels lift, both heels lower. Nice and controlled, feeling maybe the little shakes in the ankle. Love those. And again, maybe touching the hip bones to make sure that the hips aren't really moving, just the legs. Give me 5 more. And 4, 3, 2. Keep the heels lifted and hold. Okay, some inner thigh work. From here, I want you to bring your right thigh, swivel that bad boy in so it's in the center of your crotch. Bring the left leg to meet it. So your legs are internally rotated, your thighs are squeezing together, and then you're gonna open the right thigh, open the left thigh. So if you've done my class before, the last like few weeks, you might have those before. You're just kind of spiraling the thigh bone inside the hip, finding those adductors, squeezing the thighs together, and then those outer glutes really opening with control. Try to keep the hips, again, you guessed it, nice and still. And then you're gonna switch which leg is leading now. So left leg comes in, right thigh touches, left leg opens, right leg opens. So just so we're nice and even, your bum should be on fire, hopefully. And if it is on fire and you want to quit like me, just go to a happy place. Ooh, a lot of inner thigh here. And then we're gonna bring both thighs in at the same time, both thighs out at the same time. So you're closing your thighs, you're opening your thighs. Ah, it's that easy. Let's go for 6. And 5, can you lift your heels any higher? Can you be heavier through the big toe for 4? Last 3. Last 2. Next time the thighs are open, hold, lift your pelvis up a little higher, find your little pelvic pulse up for 10, 9, 8, lift your heels, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, roll all the way down, ha-cha-cha. All right, grab your strap, your belt, whatever, your stretching device, and then knees are gonna be bent flat. We're gonna go for a little hammy stretch, inner thigh stretch. Hook your right foot into the center of your strap. Hands can hold on to wherever feels good. Everyone's flexibility is a little different. And then I want you to bend the knee, flex through the heel, draw the thigh into the chest, and then just extend it up to the ceiling, digging through that heel. And then as you're doing this, start to feel like that thigh is trying to feel like that right butt cheek is dropping down towards the mat away from your face. So like you don't want to maybe crunch it all the way in. Try to get a little bit more length through the back of that bottom part of the thigh. It's my favorite stretch in the world. And if you would like, you can extend that bottom leg to straighten and to make it a little bit more intense. And then I want you to find some stillness with that right leg up to the ceiling. Again, try to soften that right hip away from your face. And then you're gonna pass the strap into your right hand. Left hand's gonna come onto your left hip. Open the right thigh out to the right for your inner thigh stretch. Trying to keep the hips nice and square. If you wanna open that left arm for a little bit more stability, you can. And then just breathe here. See if that right quad is gripping and see if you can kind of release it. And then you're gonna come all the way through center and then internally rotate, tilt the toes to the left, cross the leg over the body for your IT band stretch. And then I like to press my right hand into my right hip to press it away to get a little bit longer through the side of that leg. Trying to get the hip down. And then come back to center, and then you're gonna put your left foot in that strap, right leg can come down to the floor. Same story, bend the knee into the chest, extend the leg up. Oh, the calf is very tight as well. And then if you wanna extend that right leg out, go a little bit deeper, go for it. And then find your left leg extended. Again, try to sink the left hip down away from you. And then you're gonna pass the strap into your left hand, right hand comes to your left hip, open the left leg out to the left. Take a few breaths here. Letting yourself soften into it. Let that left thigh try to release a little bit more. Come back through center. Tilt the toes to the right. Swipe the leg over to the right, and then try to let that left butt cheek drop down to the ground for your IT bend stretch. All right, come back to center. You're gonna keep the foot where it is. We're gonna do some more abs. So you can just have a grip on one hand on each side of the strap. My arms are like relatively long. It's not really about the arms, it's just to give your legs some stability and your abs. Bring your right leg up to meet the left leg. So the left foot is still hooked into the strap, right foot is just straight up to the ceiling. I want you to inhale as that right leg lowers down to come to a hover over the mat. Exhale, you're gonna pike it back up to tap towards that left thigh. So inhale, it lowers. Exhale, pull the abs in as that leg pulls up. Go for 4 more. Now that our legs are nice and stretched, we can do a little bit more abdominals with extension in the legs. Last 30. Last 2. And then last 1, you're gonna switch legs. Right foot comes into the strap, left leg up. Inhale, it lowers. Exhale, you pike it back up. And enjoy this first variation while you can, because it's only gonna get harder. Last 3. Last 2. And then next time that left leg is up, pause. Take the strap off of your feet, toss it to the side. Legs are still straight up to the ceiling. From here, arms down by your hips. If your low back ever hurts, you can always put the hands underneath your tailbone. Otherwise, you're gonna go for that same variation as we slowly switch legs. Inhale, right leg lowers down. Exhale, pike it back up. Pause. Inhale, left leg down. Exhale, bring it back up. And if you need a little bend in the knees or a slight external rotation to bring any relief to those hip flexors, live that life. All right, so you can stay here. Otherwise, we're gonna bring the hands behind the head for a little bit more spice. I want you to exhale, curl forward, and pause with those legs up to the ceiling. You're gonna inhale, float the left leg down, rotate to your right leg. Exhale, come through center, both legs up. Inhale, right leg lowers, you're rotating to the left. Exhale, come back up. So you're just going for a very slow scissor switch, adding that thoracic rotation for those obliques. And if this is feeling good, you can slowly start to switch those legs, going for that full scissor switch variation, coming through center, rotating, right? So many options here. If you need to grab that strap for that supportive variation, go for it. Otherwise, let's go for like 8 more to each side. And 7. Go at your own speed for sure, but I'm just gonna obviously cue you to mine. This is 4 to each side. Keep lifting the chest higher, trying to draw that elbow to the knee for 3, 2. Last set to each side, and then you're gonna hold center. Keep the legs up, keep the chest lifted. Inhale, lower both legs down halfway. Exhale, pike them back up. Woo! Inhale, they float down to the halfway point. Exhale, lift them back up. You have 8. And 7. 5, 4, I'm gonna soften my knees, my hips are. 3, last 2. Oh, last 1. Hug your knees into your chest. It's over. Whew. Keeping the knees into tabletop position, cross them over to the left side of the room, find your supine twist, open that right arm out, gaze over your right shoulder. Come through center, knees go all the way over to the right, gaze over the left shoulder. And then you're gonna come all the way up to seated, and I will make you do a roll up. You're welcome. All right, let's find a tabletop position, so hands and knees. And since we just did all that fantastic ab work, just take a few breaths, letting the abs release, taking some cat-cows or whatever variations you want to do here. Maybe releasing the belly, getting that nice stretch through the abs as you find your cow. Exhale, tucking and rounding the spine for your cat. Maybe you need to find some lateral flexion here, making some circles. Maybe you want to flip the wrists. I don't know your life, guys, you know, do what feels good. I'm gonna sip some coffee while you keep doing that. Alrighty. Find your neutral spine. So nice flat back. And I find that people tend to round the low back here. So if anything, stick your bum out. Just feel it at that nice flat space. And then press yourself away from the floor so you feel your shoulders slide down your back, away from your ears, scapula nice and wide. And then I want you to reach that left arm forward, right leg back. So finding this balance challenge. If you ever need to bring a hand down for a little bit more support, totally fine. Otherwise, just keep pressing into that right hand, growing longer from that right foot to the left hand. Inhale here. As you exhale, you're gonna draw knee to elbow, rounding through the chest. Inhale, reaching out long. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, arm and leg extend. Keep going like that. I'm gonna open a window because I'm sweating. Okay. And then next time that leg is nice and long, arm nice and long, just pause for a few breaths here. Keep the right leg extended, bring the left hand down. So your right leg is long, both hands are down. From here, I want you to find a small little hinge forward of your shoulders over the fingertips. Find your tricep bend, trying to tap your hairline down towards the mat, and then press back up. And if you need to bring that knee down, that's totally fine. But with that leg extended, see if you're trying to drop it on the way back up and almost find a micro lift as you lift the chest so the leg doesn't start to lower down. Keep reaching that forehead out. Let's go for 4. Ooh. And 3. Last 2. Last 1, bring that knee down. Again, find your cat and cows to reset, maybe a child's pose, maybe flip off of your wrists. And then find your neutral spine once again. And we're going into the other side. So pressing the floor away from you, right hand goes forward, left leg goes back. Take a second to just feel the length of your arm and your leg, like someone's pulling you in opposite directions. Inhale. Exhale, round knee to elbow. Inhale, you grow nice and long. Exhale, knee to elbow, round. Pick that belly up away from that left thigh. Let's go for 6 more of these. 5 left. 4. Good, yeah, feel free to take your time in order to feel nice and stable. And then whenever you guys are ready, no rush, your hand comes down. That left leg is still extended. And then I want you to pitch your weight slightly forward. Bend the elbows back towards the ribs. Find that little tap of the forehead down. Press back up. Woo. See if your hips are starting to tilt to the right. Mine definitely just were. Trying to stay nice and even through with the pelvis. And then again, try to find that micro little lift of that left leg as you press back up to straight arms. Go for 5. Ooh. And 4. 3. 2. Last one, knee comes down. Go ahead and open those knees wide. Find a child's pose. Walk those arms out. Bring your forehead down. All right, come up through center. And then we're going to set up for side lying. So I'm gonna lay down my right forearm. So please do the same. Right forearm right underneath your, or right elbow right underneath your right shoulder. And then bring your knees into a little tabletop position in front of you. Your butt should be kind of like sticking out slightly so that it's in line with the back edge of the mat. And then lift your waistline away from the floor, pressing up and out of that right shoulder. Float the left leg up, and then you're just gonna give it a little extend and then bend. So it's like you're just trying to kick and then fold that knee back in. So if your right shoulder ever starts to bother you, I want you to really actively press up and out of it. You can always lie down on your right bicep, but with you lifted like this, it gets a little bit more spicy in the glute med and also helps you stay nice and lifted and gets you a little extra shoulder work here. So why not, you know? I like to find a minor internal rotation of my working leg just to make sure I'm staying nice and parallel and I can connect to that inner thigh a little bit more. And whenever you're in sideline, I want you to think about sticking your bum out every time, right? So the more that you flare the sits bones, the more quickly you're gonna work that muscle. Give me 3 more. This is 2. And then I want you to keep that leg long and hold. Make sure it's lifted in line with your hip and it's not sinking down towards the ground. Keeping it lifted, you're gonna externally rotate, open the knee and the toes up towards the ceiling, and then internally rotate. So whenever I do any kind of sideline work with internal and external rotation, I always bring my hand to that hip to make sure that the hip is staying quiet. It's that same feeling you had while you were bridging with those thighs coming in and out. So feeling that head of the femur bone, just rotating up and then rotating forward. Go for 5 more, keep stretching that leg longer, going for length for 4. Last 3, 2, 1. You're gonna bend that knee back into tabletop and hold. Keeping it floating, you're gonna start to make a little circle with that left kneecap. So the shin is just along for the ride. It's all about that femur. And then again, go through your little checklist in your mind, making sure you're lifting up and away from the floor. If your neck ever starts to bother you, you can look down towards that right shoulder. Give me 5 more in this direction. 4, making little globe-sized circles with the knee. A, earth it. 2. Good, reverse the circles, make them slower and bigger. Woo! What a blast. Stick your bum out. Try to keep that waistline long. Go for 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold the leg hovering. 2 more variations. I'm really feeling it. Extend the shin bone and then bend. So keep the thigh where it is as you kick in front of you and then bend. This one's crazy, but we stretched out our hammies, so it should be a little bit more feasible maybe. And then as you extend that leg forward, can you pull the hip back? If you're not feeling this, I don't know what to tell you. Give me 3 more. Last 2. Extend the leg and hold it extended. Find a little straight leg pulse for 10. Woo! 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh my God, drop it. Woo! Tap that butt out, right? What a life we lead, guys. Pilates. All right, come back. Come to sit on your tuchus for a second. with your knees bent. And then walk them out a little bit further, maybe the natural for a second. Cross your left ankle over your right knee. If this is too intense, you can lie down on your back. Woo. And then I want you to press your butt down and out, opening your chest up a little bit more to the ceiling. My boyfriend's taking the class in the living room, and then my 2 roommates are taking the class in their room. So I'm hearing all kinds of noises. Thanks for the audio feedback, guys. Woo! Yeah, there they are. It means that I know I'm doing a good job. All right, bring that left foot back down, and then I want you to come down onto your forearms. So a little bit more abs. Again, you're pressing up and out of those shoulders. Your palms are just facing down on the mat. And then I want you to, yes, float those legs into tabletop. Okay. Staying lifted out of the shoulders, zip the legs together. You're gonna start, I'm gonna angle myself so you can see what I'm up to. You're gonna start to tilt those knees to the left, let your right butt cheek lift up, but try to stay anchored down through your right forearm. Exhale, come through center. Inhale, the legs go to the other side, left butt cheek lifts up. Exhale through center. This won't feel like a whole lot, we're going somewhere. I'm gonna catch my breath and stop talking for a second. So you're just kind of massaging the sacrum from left to right, trying to keep the thoracic spine relatively still and letting that twist happen below the waistline. I think this is called can-can. Correct me if I'm wrong, Pilates people. Next time you tilt your legs to the left, your right butt cheek is lifted off of the mat, pause. Extend the legs. Bend them back, come all the way through center, tilt them over to the right, extend the legs, bend them back home. So it's very, you know, easy breezy. I always feel like a little, like a very like 1950s-esque dancer in like a 2-piece swimsuit on the boardwalk whenever I do this one. All right, but not for long. Next time your legs are tilted to the left, you're gonna hold. Whew. Okay, keeping those legs still on that left axis so your right butt cheek is lifted. You're gonna start to hinge them down. Exhale, you pike them back up. So you're gonna feel that right oblique. Inhale, they lower. Exhale, right waistline cinches them back up. Can you heavy down through that right forearm a little bit more? Let's go for 5. And 4. Last 3. 2. We're gonna come all the way through center, up and over to the right. Left hip is now lifted. Inhale, they lower down. Exhale, they lift. Left oblique on fire. For 5. 4, squeeze that left waistline, squeezing the hip into the rib cage. Last 3. 2. Last 1. Bring those feet down, take a second. We have one more variation. On your next breath out, lift up and out of your shoulders, legs come back into tabletop. From here, externally rotate so that your knees are open like a frog, and then extend those legs to a high diagonal. So heels are together, toes are apart in a little turnout position. From here, you're gonna start to crisscross one ankle over the other for a little beat moment. Start to thread them down towards a hover over the floor. Exhale, you're gonna pike them back up as you crisscross. Inhale, they go down. Exhale, back up. Go for 6 more. This is 5. Can you lift up out of your arms a little bit more for 4? Last 3. Last 2. Oh my gosh. Last 1. And then bring those feet down. What a blast. Come up and over. You're gonna swivel yourself around. We're gonna go for our sideline work on the other side. So left forearm down. Knees bent right in front of your hips. Sits bones flare. Right elbow right underneath your left shoulder. And then just go ahead and start to press and bend that top leg. Feeling that nice hip extension on the right side. And then almost think about wrapping the right hip forward and pressing the thigh back a little bit more. See if that changes anything. For those of you who have a strict end time of 12:45, it is 12:43. I'm going slightly over for sure. So keep that in mind. For those of you who can stay, would love to stay. We have like a little bit more arms after this. Let's go for 5 more. And 4. Last 3. And 2. And then keep that leg reaching out. External rotation, internal rotation. Spiral the knee to face the ceiling, spiral the toes back down. And I didn't really say, I haven't said this yet on this video, but while we're doing this, all Venmo donations from today's class are going to 3050.org. It's an organization, it's a nonprofit that works towards renewable energy, clean energy, and fights the fossil fuel industry in honor of Earth Day. So if you guys have anything to give, you can hit up my Venmo, which info for that is in the email, or I will also plug it at the end. Give me 30 more of these. Last 2. And then I want you to find parallel, bend the knee into tabletop. You're gonna finger little circles with that femur bone. Can you stick your butt out a little bit more? Good, go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. We're reversing, make them bigger, make them slower. If you made them bigger, try to keep the hips still, keep pulling the abs in, lifting the left waistline. This is 5, 4, 3, 2. Keep it lifted in that center position. Extend the shin, everyone's favorite, bend the knee. As you extend that leg forward, can you pull the hip back? Go for 5, 4, 3, 2. Extend and hold. Find your pulses up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, drop it down, friends. What a life. Come back up to a cross-legged position for a second, and then we'll do our stretch here. So if you can, cross your right shin over the left shin. My hips are very tight today, so I'm probably just gonna sit in a cross-legged position, so take that variation if you need. Reach your arms up to the ceiling, getting nice and long. And then I want you to bend, hinge forward, and then walk those hands out to wherever feels good. Taking some deep breaths in here and trying to let the sits bones melt down a little bit more. And then staying hinged forward, just start to crawl your hands over to the left side of the mat so that that right hip can get a little bit heavier. And then come back up through center. And then set yourself right back up. All right, grab your strap. We have about like 5 minutes left. You're gonna come to a kneeling position. And then I want you to fold, if you have a very long strap like me, you're gonna fold it in half so that it's like, I don't know, like 2 or 3 feet wide. Then from here, you're gonna have an underhand grip on it. And then it's gonna be shoulder width, like a shoulder width underhand grip, right? So I'll kind of face you for a second so you know what that's up to. And then I'm gonna turn once again around. From here, I just want you to sit on your heels for just a second. If you need any padding underneath the knees, double up the mat. And then roll your shoulders up, down, and back. And then I want you to try to pull the elbows in towards your waist as you pull your hands further apart. So it's a very active pulling out on that strap, like you're trying to rip it apart. Take a breath in. As you exhale, I want you to start to reach those arms out as you lift the hips like you're going into a serve a tray variation. And then bend the elbows and you find a slight hinge of the chest forward. So hips lift, you serve your tray. You bend the elbows, squeezing into the waist as you lower your hips down. Keep going like this. And then can you keep spiraling the palms up there, facing the ceiling, keep pulling that strap apart. You're totally in control of your tension here. Obviously, the more you pull, the more that those shoulders, biceps, triceps will start to feel it. Give me 5. Feeling the glutes squeezing you up for 4. Last 3. 2. And then next time you serve the tray, you're gonna stay lifted. Can you reach the pinky side of your hand up a little bit more to the ceiling? From here, I'm just gonna hinge back so you can see me. Bend the elbows, keeping the forearms lifted, and then extend. Elbows bend and extend. It's crazy, right? Keep pulling the shoulders down your back. Keep ripping that band apart. Go for 6 more. 5. 4. Last 3. 2. Pull the bend of the elbows if you can. From here, you're gonna punch the ceiling up 1 inch, elbows down 1 inch. Elbows lift an inch, down an inch. Hinging that whole 90-degree bend, just up a smidge, down a smidge. Keep rolling the shoulders away from your ears. You have 8. 7 spot. Upstairs. Keep hugging your abs in for 3, 2, 1. Hold and just breathe. Pull the band further apart, trying to rip it in half for 10, 9, 8, 7, 2, 1. Oh my gosh. Release. Give it a few rolls. What a blast. Okay, come to sit facing me. We'll just do a quick little stretch here, guys, since I'm having you so over time. So you can have a seat on your feet, or you can have a cross-legged position, whichever you are more inclined to do. And then I want you to have like a wide grip on that band, like wider than your body width distance. You're just gonna start to reach it up to the ceiling, start to open your chest up to the sky. As you exhale, you're gonna round the band forward, round your chest. You can do this in a cross-legged position or in a kneeling position. Your limits are with the shoulder. It's like modern dancing, Mary Martha Graham. So make this very rounding through the thoracic spine, feeling that nice stretch along the shoulder blades. Inhale, open up the heart to the sky. And those arms can start to travel back a little bit more if that feels okay for you. And then next time those arms are up overhead, just find a nice tall seated position. Bend your elbows back to stretch the traps down. Reach the arms back up and then round forward. So you're going for a little bit more action here. Reaching up, bending the elbows, sliding the shoulder blades together, reaching the arms back up and then rounding. If you want to get a little bit more intense, you can just shorten your grip on the band. Just don't do anything that feels too painful, obviously. Maybe like 2 more of those. Whatever movements your body's calling for. And the next time you find that halfway lift, so just those nice straight arms overhead, I want you to take a little side bend to one side, gaze underneath the left or the opposite armpit, let the hips kind of roll open, why not? And then come through center, other side, letting the obliques take a nice stretch. Good, 1 more to each side. And then I want you to just sit on your bum. So extend those legs out. We're just gonna finish with a forward fold because I love doing it with the strap. So you're gonna strap the strap across your feet. And then move out any flesh underneath your bum that you might need to. And then just have like a strap in each hand. And then I want your arms to be straight, your legs to be straight, and your back to be straight, right? So nice 90-degree angles here, and then lift up with that tension, pulling your feet towards your face, pulling your arms down your back, and lifting up as tall as you can, finding all that traction, getting your longest spine ever. Inhale for a little bit longer. As you exhale, bend the elbows, folding your chest forward, rounding the neck. And then on your inhale, I want you to sit yourself back up. Doing a few more of those, getting longer. Exhale, rounding forward, pulling the straw. Maybe crawl your hands a little closer to your feet if that's feeling good. Ooh, give me just one more. It feels so nice along the spine. And the next time you round over, you can just let go of the band, let the arms fall by your sides, or you can reach for the feet or the shins. And then just take a few deep breaths in here, into the low back, into the neck, into the shoulders. Letting your chest fall forward a little bit more, letting the neck release. And using this kind of rounded moment to kind of thank your body for all the work that's done today. Deep breath in. As you exhale, go ahead and just round yourself back up to seated. Roll your shoulders down your back. You guys are